Today over at HartmannReport.com is titled, "Will Bill Barr and Donald Trump ever be brought to justice?" This is a story that I riffed about a little bit yesterday, so I'm not going to go into it at extraordinary length. But bottom line, the Washington Post did a deep dive into a criminal investigation that was started in 2018 and killed by Bill Barr in 2019 during the Trump presidency, where the FBI was looking into this $10 million that the Egyptian president, Mr. al-Sisi, had ordered the largest bank in Egypt to take $10 million in $100 bills in cash, put it into two large bags, put it on a plane, and there was every indication that al-Sisi had shipped that money to Donald Trump. Donald Trump, meanwhile, was at that particular moment, he was very, very cash strapped on his campaign. He needed the money. And apparently, as soon as he got this money, he made a $10 million contribution to his own campaign, or a loan to his own campaign, something he hadn't done previously. Suddenly he had 10 million bucks. And then he reached out to al-Sisi, who is a dictator. There was a military coup attempt, and al-Sisi suspended all human and civil rights in Egypt, and it's still that way. He's ruling, with an iron fist. Egypt is no longer a democratic nation. And so, but Trump reached out to him, and he was one of the first visitors to the White House. Trump visited him in Egypt. He made a big deal about him. He congratulated him. He embraced him, all in the first, couple of weeks of his administration, which is weird, unless you just got a $10 million bribe from this guy. So the Washington Post reported this story on Friday of last week. It kind of became a 1 or 2 day story. But the big piece of it that I thought was really worth repeating was that as the FBI was investigating this, and as the investigation was getting closer and closer to finding that Donald Trump had accepted a $10 million bribe from a foreign leader, a foreign dictator at that, which would be, if true, and we still don't know, but if true, it would be the worst scandal in the history of the American presidency. I mean, Spiro Agnew had to step down from the vice presidency because he had taken bribes. We later learned that Richard Nixon had taken bribes. He'd taken a $500,000 cash bribe from the milk lobby. He'd taken a $1 million cash bribe from Jimmy Hoffa. We didn't learn that stuff until after Richard Nixon was long gone. But this would be even worse than those bribery scandals. So Bill Barr stepped in. Bill Barr was the Attorney General, of course, Donald Trump had hired. Bill Barr stepped in and put the kibosh on those investigations. So to this day, we don't know. So in my article, I point out that there are two things that frankly should happen as a result of this. The first is that the Senate Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin's committee, needs to subpoena. Actually, there's several different Senate committees that could be looking into this. The Intelligence Committee, Judiciary. I mean, there's a bunch of them that could be looking into what happened in 2019. So there needs to be a Senate investigation, number one. And I'm hopeful that maybe Ron Wyden, who has been doing he's on the Finance Committee. I'm not sure how that would connect to this, but anyhow, somebody needs to be looking into this, number one. And so I'm encouraging people to call their members of, their representatives, their members of Congress, and just make their opinions known. And number two, the director of the FBI, Chris Wray, or the director of the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, should declassify these investigations and just put them out there so that we can all see what happened. Apparently, the statute of limitations for taking a bribe has expired. So Trump can't be prosecuted for this right now anyway. Let's just tell America what's going on. And then, in the Senate, the Judiciary Committee could institute an investigation of Bill Barr. I would add, by the way, that Dick Durbin is still respecting blue slips from Republicans. Republicans are still canceling the nominations of good judges that President Biden has put forward with this blue slip process after Mitch McConnell ignored blue slips and pushed through judges for Donald Trump that were openly opposed by their home state senators. But Dick Durbin is not, he's saying, oh, yes, Republicans will respect your objections. You might want to let Dick Durbin know that you're not happy about that. This is just terrible. This is disgusting. He should not be doing this. So, and Biden still hasn't, put into place as many judges as Trump did, because Republicans are obstructing him right now, and Dick Durbin is letting it happen. And that's just wrong. It's just plain old wrong.